Good morning. It's April 19th here in Nova Scotia, and it is a beautiful day to get some seeds in the ground. These are my first seeds I'm planting this season outside in the garden. I'm going to be planting some carrots, beets, turnips, and some radish. I'm in a zone, I believe 6B, but all that zone has to do is how cold it gets in the winter. So it does get down to about negative 20 here for a few days in the winter. But mostly it's actually quite warm in the winter, more like a negative 10 or so. So my last frost date is June 1st. So these are going in quite a bit before my last frost date. But they'll be just fine out here. These are all frost tolerant things, and of course they'll take a week or two for the seeds to emerge. So I've removed all the mulch off my garden beds. I keep my beds mulched all the time. This had seaweed on it that I just placed on the bed adjacent to it. And I removed all the weeds. There was quite a bit of quackgrass in this garden. I have a little problem patch of it here. And so I removed all the quackgrass, and then I just gave the whole garden a rake to sort of even it out. And I used some old Amazon boxes here, and I just cut them in strips. This is going to be like sort of my first layer of mulch. I do this when I'm planting small seeds because they do have some difficulty sometimes, I find, coming up through the mulch and staying in place. So I put these strips of cardboard, I dig a little furrow, and then I'm putting my carrot seeds down. And then what I'll take is some soil. This is just Pro Mix that I had in pots last year. So I just emptied my pots and sifted out all the roots, and I just put a good layer on top. I know a lot of people say not to plant carrot seeds deeply, but carrot seeds dry out so easily. I've actually seen people put a board on top to keep the moisture in. However, I find this method works better for me. I put a good layer of the potting soil on top, and then I will just water them in. All right, I don't know if I'll have to voice over this, but I have half the bed planted. I'm going to do half carrots and half beets. So I did 5 rows of carrots. It ended up being a couple different kinds. I had a couple packages with just a little bit in each of them. Just the soil on top. 1, 2, 3. These 5 are going to be beets. I had to take a break because I just had wood chips delivered. Yay! He only had half a load, so he's going to bring another half a load or a full load next week. But this is great for me to get started on wood chipping my rows. I've been going through and weeding. I've most of the front weeded to about here, the front row. And then I did weed this before I started because it has a lot of this quackgrass in it. This, I think I might try to cardboard this. This is one of my worst areas, is stinking quackgrass. And then I've started to weed along the fence. So this will all be refreshed with wood chips. So we're making progress. It is April 19th. Okay, so this is the bed right by the entrance to the garden. So I'm doing them a little differently here. I'm not putting mulch in between the layers or the rows because this is where I had cucumber beetles last year. So I'm leaving the soil uncovered for now. I'm not sure when exactly cucumber beetles showed up last year. I want to say maybe June. So I think I'll keep the soil uncovered as long as I can, because if there's any eggs in there, I'd like them to be exposed. So I did, over on this side, I did 2 turnips. These are very short rows. I left a space on this side because I'm going to try growing some sorghum along this edge. So these are only like maybe 2 feet. So just did 2 little short rows, or 3 of the Detroit red beets. And then I have 3 different types of radish here. I have wasabi, French breakfast, and black Spanish. And then the last 2 rows are just a turnip. We don't eat a ton of turnip, mostly just in stews and stuff. So, but if we had a dozen or so. I think that would probably be great for the year. So these are uncovered here. And then I'll take you over to the other bed there, and I just watered these. So this is 5 rows of carrots. These are 4-foot rows, and 5 rows of the Cylindra beet. Those are the long skinny ones, and they're great for pickled beets. I did split my rhubarb, so there's half of it. So it's growing a little faster where I didn't disturb it, but I did cut off a chunk and just place it in this bed, and it's still looking pretty good. I just gave it a quick water. All right, so that is planting carrots and beets, turnips, radishes on April 19th in Nova Scotia, Canada.